Hi everyone, I'm Colleen Stanley, and I am thrilled to introduce you to a colleague of mine, longtime colleague Jan Rutherford. And Jan Rutherford is the author of The Littlest Green Beret, and he's also the creator of Self-Reliant Leadership. So this year, Sales Leadership made a commitment that we're going to bring in other experts and partner with them, and Jan is going to be kicking off a workshop for us on March 12th, named no other than Self-Reliant Leadership. So welcome, Jan.
Thanks, Colleen. Glad to be here.
And I think our viewing audience would love to know, how did the book and how did Self-Reliant Leadership come about? What was the inspiration?
Well, the inspiration was my experience in Special Forces as a teenager. As a 17-year-old weighing 114 pounds. I was told for a lot of reasons I wouldn't make it through, and I did, and a lot of that had to do with overcoming adversity and really wanting something badly. But what it provided was an opportunity for me to observe some really great leaders and how they overcame adversity far greater than I. And I became a student of leadership. And what I realized was a lot of these folks were really reliable. They took care of themselves. They were responsible for their own development so that they could serve others. And that really is the impetus for what I came to study in the business world and what I came to teach at the University of Colorado.
Very good. Yeah. So I know I had asked you to send me over some questions, and I wanted to be prepared for this interview, and I loved one of the questions. And so this is one Jan, he asked a lot of the leaders prior to working with them and their companies, and he said, you know, if you could have back one business decision that you made in the last 12 months, what would it be and why? And Jan, I'm really curious, what are some of the answers you hear from leaders?
Yep. Well, what I hear often from leaders is, my team doesn't get it.
It's always about the team.
Yeah, and what they'll say is, I just need to communicate better. And oftentimes we'll say, people support what they help create. You know, have you collaborated with the team? So we'll hear that a lot. And the second thing is, a lot of folks say, I made the decision too rashly, with haste. I need to step back. I need to be a little bit more methodical. I need to let and create an environment where my team can fail, and you know what's acceptable, while at the same time having accountability. So at the end of the day, what we all struggle with, the leaders, is a balance between task, getting the job done, the results, and the relationship, getting people that are committed and engaged and buy into the vision and the mission.
And that is a difficult balance, right?
Yeah,
and I love what you just said about the failure piece, because I make a joke that we all talk about, we learn more from our failures than our successes, and yet I walk into a lot of companies and I don't see anything on the wall that says, here's our latest and greatest failure.
Right.
So, great point.
Yep.
Now, here was another question you sent over that I loved, and it was, what conversations are you avoiding right now? And of course, one of the reasons we're partnering with you is you support a lot in your work, emotional intelligence, the EQ piece, and we've seen people not having the tough conversations. So again, what's some of the answers you hear when you ask that question of leaders?
Well, that's it exactly. You know, as we know, Patrick Lencioni said the basis is trust and healthy conflict. So oftentimes there isn't trust because there's no humility and vulnerability, and because that doesn't exist, the difficult conversations aren't there. So when leaders say, you know, geez, my team's not getting it, they're not doing what I need them to do. When we explore further, they haven't been very clear about the expectations. And secondly, there haven't been consequences for getting the job done correctly or missing the boat. And if they fail, either, you know, it's a learning event or there's an opportunity for corrective action by the leader.
Right.
And, you know, there's a lot of folks that want to be nice. They'll wait on that, they'll delay it, and before they know it, they've got somebody that's a C player that's affecting the morale of the A players, and that's what's so critical. You've got to deal with the non-performance and the behavior issues right away.
Right. You can lower that bar real quickly by accepting mediocrity. Is what I've seen.
Right.
Well, we'd like to invite all of you to join us on March 12th, where Jan will be leading a group of sales leaders, sales managers, and how to become more effective in their roles. Self-Reliant Leadership, March 12th at Sales Leadership. You do not want to miss it. Thanks.